I'm already like 3,000 years old right now. I just tell people I'm 33 because I don't age.
33.
Like 3,000.
It's the fact that you enter into other worlds by jumping through portals that are paintings. Also, when you do fly, the wings aren't on your back, the wings are on the hat.
Yo, welcome back to the channel, gang. In today's video, we'll look at some creepy and interesting TikTok that'll make you question reality. And before we get to it, hit the like button and let's go.
Those who have eyes, let them see. And those who have ears, let them hear.
Listen to these clips by rapper Kevin Gates.
Angel of fear.
You're the angel of fear. That's what
Yeah. Those who don't know
what I'm saying?
I understand exactly what you're saying. Yes, sir.
You understand?
He who opposes us in his heart,
Do you let people know?
fear shall overtake him.
Do you let people know that? Do you tell people that?
Those who have eyes, let them see. And those who have ears, let them hear. It ain't for me to put it there. They know the voice of their shepherd when I'm on location. Yes, sir.
the angel.
Sir?
The angel of fear.
This is gonna sound very, very crazy. I'm already like 3,000 years old right now. I just tell people I'm 33 because I don't age.
33.
Like 3,000. I know that's gonna sound weird, but I don't age. I'm immortal. There's nothing new under the sun. My mother had sex with an angel, was born an immortal, and they didn't even know it.
Hey, she powerful too.
Yeah, I did magic on my brother yesterday.
Don't talk.
Kevin Gates said a lot of things in the past that we laughed about, but it might be time to take him serious.
We have a full system engineering approach, allowing us now to use water as a main fuel source to be able to run a conventional engine and run it on water and do it and equal or supersede the performance of a car running on gasoline and diesel fuel. Many people do not realize that when you run a car or truck on either gasoline or diesel fuel, you're actually running it on hydrogen. And all we're doing is using the hydrogen from water. And under the National Bureau of Standards figures shows that when you use water, the energy release is roughly 2.5 times more powerful than that of gasoline. So water is a very powerful fuel.
All we had to do was mass produce that car, charge a little bit more for water, and that's an even trade.
Stephen A. Smith's eyes, everybody.
Season comes to an end. Stephen A. Smith, many thanks, and we will hear from James Harden here live on this edition of Sports.
You saw it. Everybody just saw it right there. I'm gonna rewind it back again. This is after the loss of Rockets. After the loss of Rockets, the last game.
Failed to show up, they will make shots, and in order for San Antonio to beat them, they're going to have to control pace on defense and make shots on offense. Otherwise, they have no chance.
Everybody pay
The series
attention.
won't go past 5 games.
It will be remembered as a stunning night in Houston. The night
I'm gonna pause it,
season
and I'm gonna see if I can.
comes to an end. Stephen A. Smith, many thanks, and we will hear from James Harden here live on this edition of Sports.
I'm going slow. I'm trying to pause it. Okay, work with me. Look at that. Everybody see it. His eyes disappeared. Another set of eyes came in. Look at that. Everybody can see it. Look at this. Look at this pupil on the right side. Everybody see this, man. Y'all, I'm freaking out right now. It's for real. I'll push and play. Look, everybody can see it.
This clip of Stephen A was back from 2013, so if this is true, we've been tricked for over a decade. I don't think a chisel and a hammer could do this, but let me know what you guys think.
Glorilla?
Yes.
Bro, her real name is Gloria Hallelujah.
Oh, I heard about that. That's crazy.
Yeah, bro, like she was calm.
That's crazy.
Even Lil Uzi Vert, I think he was raised in the church.
Crazy how many of like the musicians and the actors like grew up in church, or even actually like spirit-filled church too. Katy Perry spoke in tongues.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Megan Fox. You know what she said in an interview? They asked like, what is one of her secret talents people don't know about? She said, I speak in tongues. All these musicians or actors that they have like mantles on them, I totally believe that they were all called to be mighty men and women of God. They have anointing, but it is polluted. It is perverted. It is actually the anointing that is on their life that is allowing them to do what they do, that has the influence.
The gifts and the callings are the
right, without repentance.
So like it's like the devil just flips it.
Yeah.
Invited me in the craft. And they didn't tell me right away where we were going, but I found myself in outer space with a Polaroid camera, and there were about 8 or 9 people in there with me, aliens, and another, a man, a friend of mine from Hybers, New Jersey, who at this I still don't mention his name because he doesn't want to mention it, but he was in the craft with me. Went to school with him. We were up, we could see through the portholes the earth getting smaller and smaller and smaller. It looked like a blue tennis ball with white clouds over it. Finally, we could see the moon approaching and getting larger and larger through the portholes, and I took pictures of the moon on the other side of the moon, where there's a line between the light and the dark, and there was like a small city there. And our government knows all of this. They know it all, but they're keeping it from the public.
So this is my deathbed confession, because now I'm dying of cancer. So I'm going to go ahead and make this video for Bart Seibel. In 1968, my father was stationed at Cannon Air Force Base in New Mexico. He was in the military police for over 20 years, and on his deathbed in 2002, we made a recording of what happened. Okay, anyway, this is the story that my dad told me on his deathbed. Project Slam Dunk was the name of this. President Johnson in 1968, okay, in Cannon Air Force Base in 1968, he said by the time he got there, that there was already 2 large hangars that were connected. There was hundreds of dump trucks that came in and dumped sand and stone, and cement powder was powdered over the top of all that to make it look like a lunar landscape. They had men that fashioned it into a lunar landscape, he said. Okay, I've never known my dad to lie, so this all took me by surprise. You know, what's that all about? So anyway, he said that in front of the airplane hangars was pole framing with large canvas tents that was concealing the inside of the staging area. Inside the staging area, on flatbed trucks, was on-crated the lunar lander that was reassembled back inside the hangars. All of the walls were painted flat black, and the ceilings as well. He was sworn to secrecy by the NSA, and they would put him in prison for breaking that oath. When Dad saw the moon landing on TV, he cried. He said he knew that what he had witnessed on TV was exactly what they recorded in that hangar. Dad told me all these things father to son. He also told me not to ever tell anyone what he had said, but he said on his deathbed that he had to tell somebody before he died because it was just too important not to tell.
I bet he felt 10 pounds lighter after revealing this.
I said, "Where are you from?" He said, "I'm from your planet that your Bible calls the morning and the evening star." I said, "Venus?" He said, "Yes, the inside of Venus." I said, "How did you get here?" He said, "I came in a saucer craft which is called Victor 1. I said, "What is your name?" He said, "Commander Valiant Thor." He said, "You call me Val." I said, "Thank you." "And how long have you been here?" 3.5 years, this coming March 16th of 1960. "And what have you been doing here?" He said, "I've been conversing with the President of the United States, Dwight D. Eisenhower, and Mr. Nixon, who I met personally some years afterward, and several members of the Joint Chiefs of Staff." He said, "I brought a gift for them. And this gift was in my hands, and I looked into the eyes of Mr. Eisenhower. I said, this information will do away with sickness, disease, and even death in the United States, and then you can share it with other nations. Gave it to the president. President Eisenhower received this information. It took them over 1 year to get back to the commander. He was their guest for 3 years at the Pentagon. And 1 year later, the president came back, met with the commander again, with this information in his hands, shaking his head. He said, "I'm sorry, we cannot accept this information because it will ruin the economy of the United States."
I wonder if Dwight ultimately kept it or if it got gifted to a different country.
Steak and lobster. You know what that means. We are going to war. To war we are going. I'm gonna eat good now.
A lot of weird symbolism. Why does Mario have such a ubiquitous association with gaming in the Super Mario 64 Freemasonic breakdown? And it starts in a Masonic hall with a checkerboard floor. And then you collect the coins, which are pentacles from the tarot. They are gold coins with a pentagram star on them. The breakdown goes that you can see mirror images of like the Tower of Babel and the fact that you enter into other worlds by jumping through portals that are paintings. Also, when you do fly, the wings aren't on your back, the wings are on the hat. Well, that's invoking Mercury, and some people will break it all the way down to say you are going through the Tree of Life through a Masonic hall as Mario.
I thought Mario is one of the most innocent games out there, but this just tainted my love for it.
Prince Charles, before he became King Charles III, he said he was descended from Vlad the Impaler, which is who Dracula is based on, the vampire movies. And Dracula means son of a dragon with the A on the end, and it's rooted in Draconta and Dracont, meaning a watcher in Greek. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, because Vlad the Impaler is your typical noble Celt, your noble giant. He's red-haired, he's hazel-eyed, pale-skinned, sensitive to light, educated at the mystery school in Austria, in Vienna, and he's of the bloodlines, and he takes his bloodlines back to a tribe produced by Hercules, the Agrathi, and another branch as well.
So this thing fell in a neighborhood last night. Luckily, it missed all the houses and cars and people. Everyone was safe. Does anyone know what it is?
I don't see any debris. I don't see any damage to the roads. Looks like it just snuck in to say hi.
The Simpsons predicted that the United States would attack Iran in the first week of July. Iran fires missiles at American bases in Israel. Trump says that America will fight back in a few days. July 4th becomes the official start of the war. American warplanes fly toward Iran. Bombs begin to fall on Iranian cities. Trump orders the people of Tehran to evacuate. Embassy workers pack their bags and flee. American families in Iran rush to the airport. Planes evacuate people to safe countries. Streets fill with terrified people. Traffic jams block all roads. Families hide in basements. Hospitals overflow with injured people. Food runs out very quickly in stores. Water stops working in many places. Power outages last for days. People sleep on the floors, afraid to go outside. Gas prices skyrocket. The stock market crashes and people lose money. Protesters march, calling for an end to the war. People stockpile food in fear of what's next. The internet goes down in many places.
It's ironic that July 4th is the date that Simpsons predicted. That'd be a crazy birthday celebration.
16 billion passwords just leaked online, including yours, including mine, Apple, Google, Facebook, GitHub, Telegram, even government portals. It's being called the largest data breach in history. These aren't old recycled hacks. Cybersecurity researchers confirm these are new, undocumented credentials that have never been seen publicly before. The data is perfectly formatted, URLs, usernames, and passwords all indexed together, ready to be plugged into automated attack tools. One security expert called it not just a leak, It's a blueprint for mass exploitation. So what you should do right now is enable two-factor authentication on everything, change your passwords, especially Apple, Google, and Facebook, check haveibeenpwned.com, and delete any unused accounts.
I'm not sure what database those credentials got leaked from, but they gotta stop using Morton firewall security.
Elon was being mean to us. I left the country, took one of the cars. I just wanted to rebel and try solid water for the first time. You guys are so cool. You're so real. Can I touch you? Oh, good. Thank you.
Are you real or fake? Are you real?
Am I real? I don't know. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
No, te está grabando.
I'm not sure if that's a guy trolling, but at the chance I get rear-ended by a robot, there's no need to call the cops.
The situation just kept escalating. These guys were trying to drag out an alligator that had somehow wedged itself under the sidewalk, but then they realized there was a second one hiding right next to it. Just as they were wrapping their heads around that, a third gator launched out and charged straight at them. At that point, you have to wonder, how many more were down there?
Did you all see this? This is mad disturbing, you all. This was during the pregame, and this should show and tell everybody what exactly is going on, because this is absolutely demonic. We are in a spiritual warfare. And if this doesn't show you what is going on, I don't know what will, because why else would his eyes, look like the Undertaker for a couple of seconds? Maybe he's just locked in. Maybe that's all it is. Maybe there is nothing to see here at all. But that movie coming out called Him is starting to make a lot more sense now when it comes to these athletes, these celebrities, and everything else. If you know exactly what is going on. What do you think?
This video likely was doctored. I honestly don't think there's much to it.
You're not gonna believe this, so I'm gonna have to show you. NASA's cosmic detector in Antarctica picked up some noise frequency, specifically humming, that is coming from beneath the ice. Now, before I play this video for you guys, right, they subtly hint that the ocean is space, and this noise that's coming from the ocean or space shouldn't exist. It's not a neutrino, it's not a cosmic ray, but for some reason their equipment can pick up this frequency, y'all. Just listen to this.
Diving into the dark and icy waters of Antarctica, the eerie blue darkness is enveloping you, reminiscent of the vast expanse of open space. In these depths, where you least expect to encounter any living creature, you suddenly hear a loud, strange sound. A quacking noise, as if a giant duck was hidden in the deep.
Now I want you to listen to this. They call the humming noise upsweep, and they call it ascending tones, y'all. We've been talking about ascension, right? Listen to this.
Meet upsweep. One of the most mysterious sounds ever recorded in the ocean. It's not just noise, it's a series of short ascending tones repeated at intervals of several seconds. It was first discovered in 1991 using hydrophones installed in the Pacific Ocean. At first, oceanographers suggested that upsweep could be associated with volcanic activity or underwater earthquakes.
And what's happening now?
And its intensity change depending on the time of year, which rules out these versions. People began to consider hypotheses related to the biological life of the ocean. They studied the migration routes of marine animals and their behavior at different times of the year. However, despite all efforts, the sound source has not been identified. Some studies suggest that upsweep may be associated with certain species of fish or other marine animals that make sounds for communication or navigation.
So they just admitted that Antarctica is basically a portal, right, for ascension, and this is the reason why they are blocking it. And we are getting upgrading frequencies coming from beneath the ice, which is the water, which is space, coming from Antarctica. And this is why they don't want a group of people in Antarctica, y'all. He literally is telling us that there are ascension frequencies coming from Antarctica. Did you guys see the movie Kong when he went inside of Antarctica and he basically entered a whole new world and he was able to fly and all that type of stuff? And if you pay attention to the Superman movie, Superman's home base is actually Antarctica. So does that mean home base is calling us and they're stopping us from going home, y'all? Things are gonna get a lot more interesting, y'all. That blackout is coming. Let me know what you guys think about this video, y'all. Like, follow, and share for more videos like this. The shift is here. Let's get it. Peace in.
Do you guys remember that story of the Titan sub that went down to the Titanic and exploded? It was crazy though. This guy, Stockholm Rush, they did one dive down to the Titanic, and on their way up, there was just loud boom. And like everyone's like, what was that? And this happened before when they tested their previous submarine in the Bahamas, and that big loud pop was the carbon fiber hull starting to snap.
Really?
And so he's like, don't worry about it. And so they got up, they were fine. Everyone's like, cool. And it's like, okay, we'll come back after winter to do more explorations or whatever. And so they brought it back to Canada.
No modifications.
No modifications. They left it in a parking lot in Canada over winter, just completely exposed to the elements.
The same vessel?
The same vessel.
Wow.
And then here comes spring. It's like, okay, now we got these billionaires that want to go on. So they going down, boom, gonzo. The craziest part I got from this documentary is Stockholm Rush. His father was the president of Bohemian Grove.
No way. Ooh, that's cool.
So Bohemian Grove is a club located north of San Francisco in the woods, and that's where like all the elites go like once a year.
I mean,
they have that giant Moloch god that they all do this like fake sacrifice in front of and whatnot.
But it's 100% confirmed that it's a real place. All these leaders meet there. Who knows what they're doing?
Yeah, the ritual really happens. They just say that it's not a real sacrifice of a human. We're doing this fake sacrifice to represent something. But
it's like communion.
I mean,
it's not really blood.
In front of a pagan deity.
But I thought that was crazy. They just like glanced over it. They're like, oh, and his father was the president of Bohemian Grove.
Guys can't get together in the woods.
You see, this is exactly why I have trust issues with mainstream archaeology. Every single time we uncover something interesting that doesn't fit into the official academic timeline of history, it's either mocked and labeled a con, or they do this. So in 2011, Russian cave explorer Arthur Zhemyukov made a wild discovery in the region of North Caucasus in Russia. At the top of the Kara-Hora mountain range, he found something that revealed an unwritten chapter of human history. At first, it just seemed like a deep hole leading into a cave formation inside the mountain, so he decided to check it out himself. And as he went down this narrow vertical opening, he started to notice this wasn't any regular cave shaft. On his descent, he saw massive parallel stone blocks, polished flat and perfectly geometrically aligned with each other. We're talking straight edges, right angles, and intricately chiseled formations that indicated this definitely wasn't natural, it was engineered. Him and his team explored deeper and found out that this shaft was so much beyond our understanding than he ever thought. This is the Kara-Hora shaft, and I don't care what anyone says, someone like an intelligent being clearly made this. Inner passageways with perfectly straight, polished walls going down 40 meters into the mountain, leading into a larger chamber with 36-meter high ceilings filled with enormous megalithic slabs fitted together and arranged in perfect alignment with each other, like they were intentionally placed there, with some blocks appearing to be up to 200 tons, and nothing can explain how anyone would have moved these stone megaliths into this narrow shaft. The total distance from the very top of the shaft down to the lowest part of the explored chamber was around 100 meters, about the height of a 25-story building. And there appeared to be more tunnels and chambers below that went even deeper into the mountain, which are still undiscovered. Clearly an artificial construction of a monumental scale, an absolute groundbreaking find by any means. And as per usual, absolutely no historic records of any structure like this documented anywhere in this region. The team even filmed their exploration for a Russian TV documentary, mapping out the shaft to reveal its true detailed architecture, with block arrangements that looked incredibly similar to the ones found found in the Grand Gallery of the Great Pyramid of Khufu in Egypt. It also features several tunnels that don't seem to have been designed to be accessed by humans, just like we see in the Egyptian pyramids. No ladders, stairs, or any easily accessible means of traversing many of these passageways. Even small side tunnels that no human can fit through, and oddly enough, the team felt a constant draft of air blowing up into the chamber from deeper underground, suggesting this wasn't built for habitation, but rather some sort of other functional purpose. Possibly a subterranean complex of another larger structure that used to exist on top of the mountain. Perhaps the entire mountain itself was an ancient megastructure, like a pyramid that's been heavily eroded over time. What if it was, dare I say it, an ancient energy power generator, part of a system of global power plants that produce energy for an ancient advanced civilization that lived here tens of thousands of years ago. Just like the Giza power plant theory suggests the pyramids of Egypt may have been. Whatever it is, it's clearly something that was built by an intelligent species, undocumented in an absolute feat of ancient human engineering, or maybe even non-human engineering, just a theory. Above ground, the surrounding area has even more carefully sculpted stones all around it, with what appear to be machine marks all over them. Flat surfaces, straight cuts, and massive stone blocks stacked perfectly together, indicative of man-made production. But our cave explorer Arthur didn't find the shaft by accident. In fact, he was intentionally searching for it. Many ancient legends in the North Caucasus region about sprawling underground cities have been told and passed down for generations. And while researching old World War II documents written by those Germans, there was one particular topic that caught Arthur's attention: the Ahnenerbe, a project initiated by top German commanders with the primary objective of restoring ancient occult practices and powers, who conducted operations around the world to find the most sought-after ancient relics and mystical sites that allegedly held power beyond our understanding. Expeditions for the Ark of the Covenant, the Holy Grail, the mythical underground city of Shambhala, uncovering the secrets of Antarctica. These guys were on a mission. When the Germans launched Operation Edelweiss to capture the oil-rich regions of the North Caucasus in Russia, the mountain ranges were one of the hot spots on their hit list, the assumed home of an ancient advanced civilization who left behind traces of their esoteric knowledge. Among this region was the Kara Mountain, which they actually got really close to discovering the shaft themselves. And they even marked some of the surrounding stones with, you know, their trademark symbol. It was through studying these old wartime documents that Arthur finally located the site, assuming there to be many, many more structures and full-blown underground cities in this mountain range, which still remains largely unexplored. In 2015, Arthur claims to have made yet another groundbreaking discovery about the shaft and the surrounding region, insisting that he gathers more resources for his expedition ASAP. And literally the next day, he gets hit by a car and passes away. Yeah, for real, I can't make this shit up. Then Viktor Chernobrov, another explorer who accompanied Arthur in many of his explorations, dies of cancer 2 years later. Then 3 more team members involved in the expedition all abruptly pass away within that same time span. Was this just another huge coincidence, as I'm sure the debunkers are insisting it is, or did Arthur and his team find something that they weren't supposed to? Today, there isn't much information on the shaft or any explorations in the surrounding mountain range, with no new updates released about any of this for years and no plans in place to explore it further, likely out of fear of having an accident if you do. If you genuinely think this is a natural formation and nothing suspicious is going on here, go get help.
Do you guys want to hear about the moon? Please, let me tell you. China, they're on it's called the dark side of the moon, which basically means it's the side of the moon that we can't observe from Earth, except for India and China. But China, they've been collecting samples already and sending it to Earth, but they found this brand new material, chungastite. And it's this clear crystal, and it's colorless, but it contains this element called helium-3 it's produced by the sun. So the sun produces it, and since the moon doesn't have an atmosphere, it just has been collecting on the moon. But it's this element, you can use it to create unlimited, clean, radiation-free energy.
Oh, so they're gonna be mining the moon now.
They're gonna be mining the moon. China's like, they're ahead of the game. We were talking about like mining the ocean floor. Probably shouldn't be mining the moon either.
No.
I mean, that could be the start of the next war.
Besides helium-3, the composite material, like the soil, the rocks and stuff, it's the same material that we have on Earth. So it's like made up of the same elements and stuff.
Except for this helium-3.
Yeah, because there's no atmosphere, so the sun can put helium-3 there. But it's like, it's basically like a part of the Earth. What if the hollow Earth is just God took out the center of the Earth and made it the moon?
That's a fun theory.
It's not a theory, it's a fact.
If you've been watching my channel for a while, you already know how I feel about the moon landing, and I'll leave it as that.
If only y'all knew what they put in the most expensive perfumes and colognes. For example, Baccarat Rouge. Or a lot of the perfumes, which is the female side of the collections. If only y'all knew what they put in these things to make them not only just last a lot longer, but
attract other people. Y'all might think, well, it's just really great pheromones and all. No, actually, they put in, let's just say allegedly, right? Because you're not gonna find an article saying that, hey guys, we put this in.
The Doomsday airplane just left from Shreveport and landed in Washington, D.C., and it has everybody raising their eyebrows. So for those that don't know what a Doomsday plane is, it is an aircraft. It's also called an E-4B. This plane can fuel mid-air. It could survive a certain type of war. During the times of a fire war, this airplane can stay in the air. Or any type of national emergency, this airplane can stay in the air. And earlier today, the Doomsday plane went from Louisiana to Washington, D.C., but in a strange route. And because a lot of people like to sow fear, I want to explain a couple of things for you. What is normal about this Doomsday plane? The Doomsday plane does get flown a lot of times for training exercises. What has people raising their eyebrows about it is because of the fact of what's going on between Israel and Iran. They also have what's called maintenance flights. Now, this is when they upgrade something, you know, they want to test it out. And then sometimes it's rotated between bases like Joint Base Andrews and Barksdale Air Force Base. Now, people are raising their eyebrows because of the flight path. They're saying the flight path was irregular because it looped over a few places in the U.S. before it went back to Washington, D.C. And then the late night arrival at Joint Base Andrews is less common. So bottom line, yes, it is normal for the Doomsday airplane to fly and to train. But when and where it flies, people are saying those are subliminal messages saying readiness, preparedness for what's about to take place. And nevertheless, this is Lady Queen, Black News. Bye, guys.
For the mere fact that plane got a nickname, the Doomsday plane, I'll feel uneasy if I ever see it in person.
These two people right here, Marina Abramovich and Michelle Lemmy, are the high priestesses, the dark witches of the elite. Stay with me. They're both considered artists in their own right. Marina Abramovich is known for her spirit cooking, which I'll show in a sec. And this is Rick Owens' wife, Michelle Lemmy, who has pioneered fashion in a very, very dark way. Let's look at Marina first and her spirit cooking. This is what she considers her spirit cooking. I'm going to leave it up here for a sec so you guys can kind of get the image, but creepy stuff like this. And I covered it up. It's directly behind me, but this is a body, and it's very, very gory, so I needed to cover it. That's Marina Abramovich right above me. That is Lady Gaga right there, and they are taking spoons and eating out of the corpse. She's very, very, very connected. This is Jacob Rothschild, for those of you that don't know. The Rothschild family, the famous banking family. I'm not going to get too deep into that. But she does a lot of weird stuff. She's heavily connected, and her art suggests a darker, deeper agenda. And I kind of want to cover this too. Now for old girl right here, Michelle Lemmy. This is the head of Rick Owens, her husband. And this is her. She's big in fashion, and she's very, very connected through the elite. Thing is, with her clothing pieces and stuff, they very much resemble dark underworld themes, and it kind of ties into just her nature, honestly. Here she is posted up with Rick Owens, her husband, and the Migos, and she's doing a sign. Trying to give you guys a closer look here, but she has two fingers pointing up and two fingers pointing down simultaneously, which is very common in this symbol or depiction of a goat-headed figure that I don't know if I should mention either. It's really crazy when you go down the rabbit hole and see just how connected these two people are in the elite area. They're so connected in Hollywood and throughout media, and it's honestly insane. Big names like Lady Gaga, like I showed, Jacob Rothschild, again, Beyonce, Rihanna, Jay-Z, you name it, the list goes on and on. Everybody flocks to them because of what they do for them. They're pushing an agenda that we continue to see and gets pushed in our face in Hollywood. And it's dark, it's satanic. There's something sinister going on, and these two people are figureheads or masterminds or vessels for these dark principalities to come out and act on the physical. So it's important that these names don't remain hidden for much longer. You know, magic is real. You can choose to use it for good or you can choose to use it for bad, but it exists. It's something that exists in our world, and you can't deny it. It's just been made woo-woo by the people that use it. When you start to pay closer attention, you see how these people are pulling strings and how they're pushing a certain agenda in your face. As always, though, choose love, and love will prevail.
Sir, Travis Scott.
Yeah.
That was a huge ritual.
But that
right
ritual,
there.
I mean, the stage looked like something out of Hieronymus Bosch.
That was a portal.
Because it looked like a devil's mouth or
Yeah.
something, and people were so that wasn't just a coincidence. Because they tried to poo-poo all the criticism, and they said no, it was just provocative imagery. But
No,
I'm
the
saying,
people that, people like me that we come from that, we knew that was a whole ritual right there. Because I believe he got the power through Satanism and through this type of things. So for him to go to the next level, you have to do something. You have to do some sort of sacrifice. That was a huge thing right there that he did. The platform was a portal. The things, the sounds that they were playing when that was happening, they are really low sounds that open in the spiritual realm portals of death and portals for these demons to enter.
I remember seeing clips of Travis Scott concert and it all gave me chills. But that's it for the video, guys. Thanks for kicking it with me. But before you leave, hit the like button and sub up, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.